Hyundai has just launched a new SUV. It's a little one. They call it the Venue. Why? Well, they want you to think of it as the place to be. Clever marketing. They also call it an SUV. Perhaps we need to consider a little bit about what that really means. Hyundai launched their first SUV, the Santa Fe, in 2001. It was a big car. It was a clear derivative of a four-wheel drive, but with a little more comfort. Now, this is a little SUV, and where does it fit into the market? Well, their marketing terms say that it has the rugged looks of an SUV. It has the styling of an SUV, but it has the efficiency and maneuverability of a small car. And that's where it fits all together. While we have thought of SUVs deriving from four-wheel drives, this is clearly a case now where they are just really tall sedans. But there's an advantage in being a tall sedan and having that SUV appearance. A sedan in Australia usually sells for less. And so the Accent, which is now being moved out of the Hyundai fleet, you won't be able to buy one, is about $16,000 drive away. These start at $19,990, $20,000, with on-road costs. So it is an advantage for them to do them, but it also fits the market. People want a car that has a bit of image about it, but also sits up tall. So in that way, they are looking not just at the young urban market, but perhaps the retiree or the older person that is looking for a bit of height. So it's only two-wheel drive. It's never going to be for the rugged off-road, but the image is still there. Let's have a little bit of a look at how that image is reflected in its appearance. If you look at the side of this SUV, it really has some hatchback type images. It is certainly taller, but it uses a sloping roof to try and get away from that just plain boring station wagon look. You can see it in, say, the Range Rover Evoke, but it's nonetheless catches that spirit, more the hatchback with a bit of height. But the important point, if you want, for an SUV is to have a solid nose. And I was talking to the designers from Hyundai, and here you can see that the nose is higher when you compare to a sedan. And if you look round the front, the grille more aggressive, certainly more solid, and in fact the pattern in the grille here is quite pronounced. And I think that's part and parcel, along with nice, big, solid, careful front lights arrangements, to making a strong image. Now, it is a comparison to, or has a little bit of an element of, the Kona, which came out with the distinctive light shape up here, and this reflects that. It's not that much smaller, but it nonetheless gives Hyundai an avenue into a market with a strong SUV-like image. You can get a Venue in a range of traditional colours or with a standout bright apple green appearance. Top-of-the-range elite models come with a two-tone roof. As befitting an SUV, there is good headroom front and back, as well as good front seat adjustment. I particularly liked that the rear seats are high enough to give solid support to your thighs, while also giving acceptable legroom for a car of this size. The interior layout is dominated by an 8-inch tablet-style information screen, which is functional, but tablet-style also means that it looks like a new feature placed on an older design, an afterthought that is placed where wider air vents had once been. The rest of the layout is simple in design and materials. The dash in front of the driver is simple with round dials for a tachometer and a speedo and a 3.5-inch info screen between the two. The luggage space is 355 litres, which I think is very usable for this type of vehicle. The vehicle comes in 3 specification levels: Go, Active and Elite. All Venue models come with Bluetooth streaming for phone calls and audio, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, reversing camera, and tyre pressure monitoring. The base model Go has 15-inch steel wheels and a 4-speaker audio system. An automatic is an extra $2,000. For an extra $1,500, you can move up to the Active, which has, among other things, 15-inch alloy wheels, LED daylight running lights, parking distance warning, and a 6-speaker audio system. If you move up to the top of the range Elite, it will cost you a further $2,000 over an automatic Active, while adding things such as 17-inch alloys, sat-nav, single-zone climate control, a USB power outlet, and two-tone roof and side mirrors. So here we are driving the Hyundai Venue through the rural areas, inland from the Sunshine Coast, through the hinterland. It's a lovely drive. I really enjoy this. It's great roads that are busy enough for you to be involved with without being dangerous. And of course they have little shopping centres or little community centres along the way that have a certain personality, vibrancy without being tacky. But the car, in driving it, a whole lot of different conditions on the road. At the moment we have centre lines but no side line markings. We've been on real narrow roads with no line markings at all, and we've even been on a bit of dirt, graded dirt, not the super rough stuff. The car, it's light and easy. It's not particularly hard to get used to and to drive. It has an engine that's been around for some time with not a lot of power, and being not turboed, it means that it gets its maximum power at 6,300 revs, so you've really got to rev it out. 151 newton meters of torque, combined in this case with the 6-speed automatic gearbox. That's been around for some time too, but gee, I reckon it's a good one. It works well, you don't notice it that much. It does of course have lane departure warning, which can beep at you, but it can also pull you into line. I found it a little hard to get used to that because it depends on the situation. Sometimes you don't think you're feeling it, but that's because it's such a mild input to it. But it even works on quite reasonable corners. That shows how this technology has progressed. It used to be a case in many cars that it was really only in a straight line. This works, and certainly on a tight corner you feel that pull of the steering wheel. There are 3 driving modes: Eco, Normal and Sport, and as a concession to calling it an SUV, the automatic versions have an all-new traction mode featuring snow, mud and sand settings, which will vary the amount of power and torque to the front wheels depending on the conditions. In terms of safety features, Hyundai's Smart Sense Safety Suite is standard on every Venue, with automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, driver attention warning and high beam assist. The Venue Active adds a rear parking distance warning system and LED daylight running lights. Moving up to the Elite, customers also get blind spot collision warning and rear cross traffic collision warning. So, in conclusion, the Hyundai Venue is a moderately powered small SUV fit for purpose, with the understanding that you will be paying $2,000 to $3,000 above the price for a similar sedan hatchback in order to get an SUV image and a car you can step up into rather than having to struggle to get down into the vehicle.